Damon Martin,
One second,
MMA
please.
Fighting, and I'm here with one of the biggest and best managers in all of mixed martial arts. He manages so many champions and so many top fighters. I don't even know if we'll be able to get through the entire roster today, but we'll try. We'll try. Welcome back to great Ali Abdelaziz. Ali, how are you?
I'm great, my brother. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for taking the time for me. I appreciate it. I know you're one of the busiest guys in all of mixed martial arts, so I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today.
I always have time, man. When I was nobody, you always give me time, and I'll always give you time.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So, Ali, you've always got a million things going on, a million fights. I got to be honest, you got a lot of big ones coming up this month, in particular, of course, with the PFL finals coming up. Let me start there. You represent about 2/3 of the PFL finals this year. I know you've had a lot of great fighters come on your roster, but how much pride do you have in seeing the accomplishments of the guys and the girls you have in the PFL this season? Because you represent a huge part of the finals this year.
It's like this, man. It's a tournament format is great. It's not because I'm the manager that in the final. Remember, they have to go three fighters to get to the final. All these guys have fought, and they fought the best guys in the division to make it to the final. I just got them to PFL, right? And they make it on their own to the final, of course, with their team, with their coaches. And a lot of people said, oh, you always have guys in the final because I represent the best guys in the world. It's simple. And listen, sometimes even Nathan Schultz, Lance Palmer, they didn't make it to the final, and they former champion, right? Some other guys made it to the final because at the end of the day, sometimes always not the best guys make it to the final too. But it's gonna be awesome. Someone gonna be walk with $1 million. I'll be happy for them. Even my guys or some other guys, regardless, I'll be happy whoever is gonna win, because PFL put on great opportunities, writing big checks to these guys is a money changing life opportunities. You know, they change a lot of life. And I'm grateful for PFL and what they have been done and what they're doing. And I believe next season is gonna be even bigger season than this season. And you have to give them credit, man. They did such an amazing job this season. I was blown away by what they did. And I want to thank everyone in PFL, my brother Ray Suppo, Pete Murray, Don Davis, all the staff. They did such an amazing job this season, and they should get noticed, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me talk about the person who will headline the PFL finals this year. Two-time Olympic gold medalist, Kayla Harrison. We all know Kayla, amazing fighter. She's going for a second PFL championship. You've been with Kayla since the beginning, basically since she came out of the Olympics. You've been with her, and I know you pushed her so hard, believing she is the best pound-for-pound fighter in all of women's mixed martial arts. But have you been amazed at the way she's developed and the way she has grown into this role, not only as a fighter, but you know, Ali, she's a tremendous interview. She's got a great personality. Like, she has become a real superstar in the sport.
Listen, when we talk about Kayla Harrison, I think credential-wise, it's not man and woman ever come to the sport to have their credential. She's a two-time Olympic champion. She's a judo world champion, and she's a PFL champion. You know, nobody can have an argument the credentials she brought in, but doesn't mean she's gonna come in. She's gonna become a superstar. She worked from all the way at the bottom. She's up, you know, she started from zero to hero. Right now, she's one of the biggest superstar in MMA. I truly believe she's the pound for pound, the greatest female fighter on the planet today. And I feel, I think Kayla Harrison, she can beat some of the guys. Like I said it on Twitter the other day, I said she can beat Amanda, Cyborg, and Aljamain Sterling in the same night. You know, I was just having fun with it. I know I like Aljamain, he's a great guy. But I think she's very capable of beating anybody, anytime, anywhere in her weight division. I'm talking about 155, 145. The evolution. The last time we saw someone did this to people was Khabib. And she did it, she does it more efficiently, right? You know, she does it more faster. And she always said, I want to fight like Khabib, and I think she's doing it. And maybe she's doing it better. You know, she's finishing people in the first round. And some people said the competition, you know, doesn't matter. Bring him. And, you know, PFL did a signing Julia Budd and signing some other guys. They're signing Carissa Shield. You can bring them all. She will knock them all down.
Ali, with that being said, I don't want to look past Taylor and the finals because she's still got to get to the finals this year. But we all know Kayla's going to be a heavy favorite. I think most people are going to pick Kayla to win. And Kayla has talked about this. She's going to be a free agent. Now, you have a great relationship with the PFL. I know you do. We just mentioned all the fighters you have there. But Kayla has said numerous times she wants to become the best fighter in the world. Give me some secrets here, Ali. Like, where's your head at in terms of what Kayla's future looks like? Because I know she's going to have options as a free agent after October 27th, but I know also the PFL has been very good to her. So where are you at in terms of, as her manager, where Kayla's future lies?
Listen, like I said 100 million times, PFL been good to Kayla, being good to me. The only problem ever Kayla had was PFL, the pandemic things, and and we over that. She's good now. At the end of the day, PFL can write big checks. They have big boy pocket. They have big boy pants, and listen. If I want, I care if Kayla stay in PFL for the rest of her career. I don't care. She can stay there, but it's all about making money. This is a business. And it seemed like PFL, they handle their business well, right? Somebody might come with a crazy amount of money. PFL, I know what kind of people they are. They're gonna tell me, hey, go for it, right? But in a way, I feel they have much money as anyone else. They can offer as much money as anyone else. And listen, me and Pete and Don and Ray, we always talk, we always in communication. Right now, she's fighting for the title. We have a very extreme relationship. I'm not looking to take Kayla anywhere else, but at the end of the day, I'm a servant of many masters. She is my master. I gotta do what she wants, right? And she haven't told me she wanna go anywhere else, right? She just wanna make the most money she can when she's fighting. And I don't care about his superstar. She is a superstar. People are gonna start seeing her, and every time she win, her star power is gonna get stronger, And PFL is growing. They're both growing, and I'm not looking. It's about money, and I have no doubt in my mind, PFL have this kind of money to pay Kayla,
Yeah.
And I'm just letting you know, she might be signing a deal before the final. She might not, right? But we don't know what's gonna happen. But I feel. They've been good to her. They've been good to me, and I will be good to them, and she will be good to them too. I have no problems with PFL at all. They good for the sport, and they need to be more applauded for what they're doing. Like we need the UFC, we need Bellator. Without these promotions, we have nothing, right? And we have to support all of them because without these promotions, these fighters cannot go anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to be honest though, Ali. We know Kayla is so talented. She's gonna be the biggest name out there in sports. I mean, you got to be excited about what this future lies for her after October 27th. Everything goes well. She wins another championship. She's in a great position, whether that's PFL or UFC or wherever else. She's in a great position right now.
Listen, like I said, this is not my first rodeo. I've been doing this longer than anybody in the sport for almost 20 years now. This is not including my mat time. And I think long as Kayla's happy, I'm happy, right? And we're going to be very respectful to these people who give us opportunities, extremely respectful to them. And she's a PFL fighter. She's going to fight on November 27, headlining a main event over so many great fighters. That can tell you what kind of respect PFL have for Kayla, and what kind of respect I have for them too, because she's headlining this card. I think she deserves it. Doesn't matter. She's a woman. Doesn't really matter. She's one of the baddest fighter on the planet, regardless, right? I think she's pound for pound top 3 in MMA list. I think they have a rank at 9. Who did this ranking should get off the pipe because they're on drugs. This is my opinion, and this whole free agent talk for me is just fun. It's extra tool to promote a fight, but let's not sleep. She's fighting a tough girl. from Extreme Couture. I know her personally. We preparing. We taking it very seriously, and Kayla's gonna go ahead and do what she do, and we're not looking over anybody. And right now is my number one thing to promote PFL October 27th.
Absolutely. To that point, Ali, another Olympian, another Olympic gold medalist you've worked with pretty much since the beginning is Triple C, the champ himself, Henry Cejudo. Now, lately, I know before I get to the Alexander Volkanovski stuff, Henry has suddenly become one of the top coaches in mixed martial arts because Zhang Wei Li came out there and trained with him. I'm sure you saw Devison Figueiredo has talked about wanting to go out and train with Henry. I know you're there for your fighters, whether they're fighting or they're coaching or whatever they're doing, but how excited are you to see Henry kind of making this transition? Now he's becoming one of the top coaches in the sport.
Henry, one of the best mind in training, and the way Henry trained is nobody I ever managed to train like him. And I think he have the best formula to become a world champion. He doesn't work extra hard to beat up his body. Guys like Henry can fight for a long time because he one of the smartest guys training. And and this guy comes from the Olympic circuit. Like he understand body, he understand mechanic, he understand physics. And what he accomplished is gonna be very hard to accomplish. Winning 2 division title in the UFC and defending both of them, who also an Olympic gold medal, he's one of the best mind in MMA. Guarantee you, he's better than 90% of his coaches in MMA right now. If Khabib too, I have to give it to Khabib too. Him and Khabib, I think they are much better than 90% of these coaches in MMA right now. There's no disrespect to the coaches, and you don't have to be a great fighter to be a great coach. Like some guys like Eric Nixick, he never fought, right? But he's a great coach, right? And there's so many other coaches. They are great coaches too. But I'm talking about these guys from the ground up, like Henry. He has so much leverage to be a coach than everyone else, right? But he have it as a coach, not only as a fighter, right? And I think he's great for the MMA community, great with some of the fighters. And I think whoever Henry's going to train is going to do very well. But on the opposite side, he's going against Trevor Whitman. Trevor Whitman, I think, who maybe is the best. I always say Rafael Cordero and Trevor Whitman, one of the greatest coaches ever, right? But Henry's is a challenge too. And I think it's fun to see such a great mind like Trevor and Henry. Trevor, who's I think one of the greatest ever, and Henry kind of compete against each other in a different corner in a highly, extremely skilled mixed martial art bout,
Absolutely. To that point, Ali, let's talk about Henry's competitive career because Henry's made it no secret. He'd like to come back and compete for that 3rd championship and fight Alexander Volkanovski. I know Dana's talked about it. I know everyone's talking about it because it's a fight we all want to see. I think I'd like to see it. I think you'd like to see it. Where are you at right now in terms of conversations with Henry, conversations with the UFC about the potential of that actually happening? Because it's never been done before in the UFC, a 3-division champion. I know Henry seems very serious about it. And I know Volkanovski has addressed it as well. I mean, I'd like to see it, but do you think we'll actually get to see it?
Listen, Dana White, one of the greatest promoter of all the time, maybe is the greatest, right? And he understands big fights and he understands the outcome. If extremely Henry wanted to do it, and he's telling me he wanted to do it, and he willing to defend the title after he beat Alexander, right? Dana White will make this happen, right? But remember, and I will not be involved. If I don't think Henry will defend the title, I will not be involved because I have a long history with Dana too. I will never lie to him, and I'm never gonna let. And Henry's an honorable guy, man. He will never lie, right? And I think right now, just everybody have to make up their mind what they want to do. And I have to talk to the UFC, to Dana, to Sean and Hunter and everybody at the office and sit down with Henry face to face and see if this is what they really do. I understand Max also, he have a fight, right? And of course, Max deserves it too, But I think timing, will be great because Henry can fight, say in February, and Max can fight the winner, right? But also because it's a huge gap in the division. It's Alexander, you have Max, and it's a huge gap, and you have someone like Giga, right? Who have 7-fight winning streak. And Giga have a fight, right? And I think it's perfect time for Henry to come in and see what he can do in the division, right? And if he wins, he fight Max, and after that he can fight Giga, you know. But in reality, it's a really great fight. It's a big fight. Henry did a great job about keeping himself relevant in the sport, and he haven't fought for a long time. And I'm very sure Dana will go for it if everyone is serious and everybody will to honor what we can do. You know, it's a very intriguing fight, and I respect the champ very much, especially after the last fight. How can I respect this guy? But stylistically, it's a great matchup. I like to favor Henry for this fight, but it's not going to be an easy fight, you know. But this is what I think about it. You know, it can be a reality if everyone buttoned up and said, "Hey, let's do this."
Yeah. Has Henry said to you, because I think that was, you know what I'm talking about with the George St. Pierre thing, when George came back and beat Michael Bisping, he had committed to say he was going to stick around and defend the title. He got sick. He ends up giving up the title. He never does. And I know that's what Dana doesn't want. Dana doesn't want to crown a champion. He's just going to give it up. Has Henry said he would stick around?
I was involved in that. And I understand the UFC title is the most coveted title in all sports. You know, it's just a big title. You can't just win a title and bounce, right? Especially if you promise you're going to defend it. And I can guarantee you this: if I know 1% Henry will bounce, I will not be involved in it, because it's important to keep my word as a man, you know, to anybody, not just to Dana or to Sean or to anybody in the UFC. Just as a man, I would like to know I'm the guy who kept his word at all costs. And I think Henry is this guy too. He's an honorable guy. He's always going to keep his word. Listen, this is big boy talk. If Henry serious, and I know he is, he's going to come to Vegas, sit down with everyone in Vegas, and we can figure it out.
Do you think, in your mind, we see Henry Cejudo fight in 2022?
Yes, I do. I 100% I do. I think he do. And even if he lost, he can go to 35. He's not just one coming in for a fight. He's coming in for a legacy fight to get a 3 belt. But at the end of the day, too, it's a whole bunch of fight at 35 and 45. He can fight. There's no problem. He's a competitor, man. You know, you can't. Long as this guy's breathing, he's gonna be a competitor. You know,
absolutely.
And he's one guy too, man. You know, you have to talk Khabib, George St. Pierre, Henry. This is, to me, the 3 GOATs. If you stick a needle to your ass, you're not in a conversation. You know, no disrespect to nobody. I don't want to talk about nobody. If you stick a needle up your ass and you tested positive and you got suspended, you're not part of the GOAT conversation at all. Simple.
Yeah. Speaking of GOAT, let me put you on the spot here, Ali. This is a tough one for you to answer. Now, I asked your friend and your client, Rashad Evans, this question a couple of months ago. I'm going to put you on the same spot I put him on. George St. Pierre, arguably the greatest ever to do it. Greatest welterweight champion, greatest everything.
He's not the greatest welterweight. He's not the greatest.
Okay, so now you know where I'm going. My question is, Kamaru Usman, #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I argue, and it's not a knock on George. I think George is amazing. I think Kamaru Usman is the best welterweight we've ever seen. Now, he may not have the title defenses yet, but he's getting there. But am I wrong in thinking that Kamaru Usman is on his way to becoming the best welterweight ever, in every way, shape, and form? And I favor him over George St. Pierre. Am I wrong?
Listen to me. I love George. He's a friend of mine. But when you talk about being fair, Kamaru just broke George's record, or he's going to break it his next fight. But he's tied up with him, right, for the most win. He's on a 17-fight winning streak. I think 13 wins in the UFC or something like that. Some crazy amount of win. Never been dropped. Never really beat up in a fight. Has his only toughest fight was Kobe, and he knocked his ass out, you know? And the man never been taken down. George cannot say that. We're talking about dominance, right? We're talking about dominance. Kamaru never lost in the UFC. It was not even been a close fight in the UFC. George lost, close decision, confidential division, but he's a legend. You know, you have to give it to George. But I think Kamaru is the greatest welterweight of all the time now. I think Kamaru, he's in the talk with Khabib and Henry and all those guys. He's gonna have more title defense than all of them, right? And I think he's gonna surpass everyone. My opinion, he is one of the GOATs. You know, it's three guys: Khabib, Kamaru. You have to put Henry there. But if Kamaru get a couple more title defenses, he's above everybody, right? Because he's doing it the same way Khabib is doing it. But he's gonna have more title defenses, right? You know, Khabib does have an undefeated record, but Kamaru just his only loss to just slip, right? It's a slip. But at the end of the day, he's the most dominant champion in the UFC today he have. I believe he's capable of defending this title as many times as he want to. I believe he's capable of going up to 185 and win a world title there too, you know. But, you know, I think he's the best. And I think he broke through. Steve Harvey show. He's doing one of the biggest movie. We could, you know, you're back, Ali, but I can't talk about it. He's filming it right now. Some of the movies you like, you know, you see him last fight, what he did, right? You know, he's not just taking people down and beating them up. He's knocking out strikers. Great. Jorge Masvidal is one of the best strikers in the division. I don't care what everybody said. Kamaru knocked him out of dimension. I was concerned about him, you know, seriously, because the guy have kids, he have family. I was like, I don't want to see anyone get knocked out like that. I was happy for Kamaru, but also I'm a human being, right? Like, I don't want to see somebody get hurt, and I'm glad he's okay. And I'm glad he's fighting, right? But in reality, he's the greatest welterweight of all the time. Nobody deserves shit in this division, you know. In reality, he's on top right now, man, and he's gonna fight this guy in November 6th, and he's gonna do something really bad to him.
And Cole, and you're saying now Kamaru's gonna be a movie star too. I like hearing that. And I think I have an idea where he's filming. I won't say it. I have an idea what he's filming. I have an idea, but I have an idea what he's doing. But now he's gonna be a movie star too, which is awesome.
It's okay, man. Listen, at the end of the day, this is a young man. He did everything right. This is a young man who taken the hard road. Nobody wanted to fight him. He have to beg for fight. We have to stalk people in press conferences to be able to get fights. And guess what? He did it by hard work and dedication. He did not get a push. Now, when they met and they become very close, he understands what great champion he is. And they have been great to Kamaru. And they have such a great relationship. I really love it when a promoter and a fighter have their own relationship, you know? On November 6th, Kamaru is going to knock out Kobe Covington. And after that, I want him to do something crazy. I want him to beat up Canelo or somebody, you know? Why not? you know, like Kamaru, we don't want this fake fight. He wants the real fight, right? And everybody in this boxing, he's boxing these old guys and listen, he's like, I was talking to him. He's like, no, man, I want the pound for pound kings in MMA against the pound for pound kings in boxing. Why not? Right? What do you have to lose? Nothing.
Yeah, it would be big. It would be, and I appreciate that because he's not trying to fight a YouTube guy. He wants to fight the best in the world, and Canelo is the best in the world right now. There's no denying that.
Don't understand me wrong. If Dana White said, go ahead and put a head on these YouTube guys who beat him up too, but Kamaru have standards of competition, right? You know, and I think Kamaru will do well. You know, boxers fighting MMA guys, they have a hard time. We saw a guy like Conor who simply guy have no soul. If he have a little more heart, he would have lasted a little bit longer, but he broke, right? He last 10 rounds Floyd. If you can tell me Kamaru cannot last 12 rounds with Canelo and rough him up, I tell you you're wrong. I think Kamaru does very well with Canelo. But listen, at the end of the day, we just want to do bigger and better things. And of course, we are team players, and we also work with Dana and the UFC to try to do bigger things together as a team. And opportunities come. And if they come, we're ready.
Absolutely. Another guy you work with who has a big fight coming up on October 30th, Islam Makhachev, the second coming of Khabib in a way. His prodigy and the guy he's coaching right now, Khabib, you mentioned earlier, becoming a tremendous coach in his own right. Islam has a big fight against Dan Hooker. And I know you said in another interview, and I agree, it's absolutely nothing against, Rafael Dos Anjos, who's a guy you worked with. I know you have a lot of respect for, but there's a lot of excitement around this fight with Dan Hooker, but we can't deny what Islam has been doing. Am I wrong in thinking, a big win here for Islam over a legit opponent like Dan Hooker? Am I wrong in thinking that he could be next for the winner of Dustin and Oliveira? Is that out of the realm of possibility?
Listen. When we talk about Islam Makhachev, I've been watching this career last 7 years, this young man, and training with him, watching him smashing everybody, on a daily basis. He's ranked number 5 in the lightweight division now. I can promise you this. If you did the pound for pound listing, he is top 5. I truly believe he can beat some welterweight. He can beat middleweight. The guy's an acceptable talent. I think he's very complete. I think his skills, me and Habib always talk about it. I said, if you bring everything skills he have to the fight he have in the gym, he's better than Khabib, for sure. But I think he's getting comfortable every fight. And a lot of these people, they say he's boring, he's this. No, the reality, he just this good. Whatever he does is so efficient, you can't get out of it. I believe he's a future champion. There's only one guy who's jumping to fight him, who's Beneil, right? And who also other client, And I truly believe that one of these guys will become a world champion. But I think Justin Gaethje, he beat Chandler, and I'm sure he will. He's next for the title, Justin Gaethje should have been fighting for the title. But I understand the promoter, Dana White, want the people erase the Khabib, phenomena, right? And you can't have two guys who fought Khabib coming off a loss fighting for the title. You go ahead, you get a missionary, whatever, the Oliveira and the Chandler guy to fight with each other. And guess what? People forget about Khabib a little bit, but in reality, Khabib beat Justin and he beat Dustin. And this is a smarter promoter. And I explained this to Justin. Oh, Justin have to go ahead, put the light out to this little guy, and he's gonna be next for the title.
I know you have, as a fighter and as a manager, and you don't manage either guy, you have a lot of respect, I'm sure, for Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier. I'm just going to ask you, I'm curious, do you think Dustin will beat Charles? The reason I'm asking that is because I feel like we're heading towards Dustin and Gaethje too, because Gaethje, that first fight was amazing. Do you kind of feel like that's where we're headed?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think people sleep on Charles Oliveira. I think he's very tough. And I think stylistically, the toughest matchup for him in the division is Islam Makhachev and Beneil. And I think who can break him the most, break him mentally, is Dustin and Justin. But he can catch people. He's very tough. He's very slick. People question his heart. He's been tested by Chandler and he knocked his ass out, and I can't take it away from him. He earned it. He's the champ, I think this fight is 50-50, him and Dustin. I really do. I don't know who's going to win this fight. It doesn't matter. Whoever going to win this fight, he will lose. He will get knocked out by Justin Gaethje afterwards.
You already represent the greatest of all time in terms of the greatest of all time, Khabib Nurmagomedov, both lightweight and just in the sport. Right now you represent 3 of the top 5 lightweights. Now you've been here, Ali, and I remember having this conversation with you about when Khabib was going to fight Gaethje. You kind of, you hate seeing 2 of your guys fight, but you also understand that's part of the sport. You support both of them, wish them the best. You never root for anybody, you just wish them the best. But you're in a situation now, you literally represent 3 of the top 5 lightweights in the world right now. It's a good and bad position to be in, right? Because I know you don't want to see Beneil and Islam fight, but that's part of the sport, right? Like, it's going to probably happen.
Listen, at the end of the day, Marlon fought Henry. I'm smart enough not to go to the fight. No. Justin fought Khabib. Kamaru fought Gilbert, and probably Kamaru gonna fight Vicente, you know. But in a way, Kamaru is one of my best friends. Like he's my best friend, literally my best friend. But Kamaru understand this. He have a business to do, and he have Vicente or Gilbert have the business to do. He comforted me more than you ever think. And after the fight, I went and saw Gilbert, and after that, I saw Kamaru. Right? I have a protocol. At the end of the day, these guys from day one, they want to become a world champion. Who I am to stop them from fighting each other for the title? Like Tony Ferguson, we know what happened with him, right? You know, he should have fought for the title with Conor, but he never did because it was a huge conflict of interest. But for me, no problem. You earn it, you get it. It doesn't matter if I manage, if I don't manage you. I didn't train and stay at night all this night. But if you don't deserve it and try to fight Kamaru, and I manage you, I'm gonna tell you didn't deserve it because Kamaru's put so much work, right? You know, like I said, you can see Vicente fighting Kamaru, and Kamaru is one of my best friends. He is my friend, you know. But in reality, Gilbert is a brother to me, and the oldest guys, I don't manage nobody I don't like. But it's not about me; it's about them. You know, it's never about me. And I'm gonna take a step back and let them do what they do, right? And it's all good.
You mentioned Vicente. I spoke with him a few days ago. I'm sure you saw the article. You know, he's been wanting to fight with Nate Diaz. He's looking for a big fight. And unfortunately, where he's at right now, he's kind of out. He doesn't have a lot of options because we know Vicente and Gilbert are never going to fight. They're brothers. They're never going to fight each other. And a lot of the other guys are now matched up. Of course, we just saw, you know, George Masvidal is going to fight Leon Edwards. Of course, you got Kamaru fighting Colby. Vicente wants to fight with Nate Diaz. Do you think we'll see that? Do you think it'll happen?
Listen, I believe Nate Diaz have one fight left on his contract. I like the fight. I think it's a great fight. I think the UFC, it's a business. They want to make money. And I think Nate and Conor will make him so much money. And I think the only way the UFC will agree to make this fight happen if Nate re-sign with the UFC. But I don't know if this is good for Nate to re-sign with the UFC, right? At the end of the day, everybody have to do what's good for them. At the end of the day, Vicente is next for title contention, right? Nate Diaz is a big name, you know. If Vicente want to fight him, he will fight him. Vicente will fight anybody, you know. But at the end of the day, Vicente have to be smart right now. He's number 4. He need to fight guys who's gonna help him grow, right? And he's one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC, Vicente Luque. But at the end of the day, man, listen, I understand the business. I understand the UFC point, but they know we won the fight. Nate won the fight, but at the end of the day, they hold the contract, right? I can push as much as I can, but I don't know what they want to do.
Yeah.
But Vicente, 100% will fight Nate or Nick.
With that being said, let me ask you another guy. One of the guys I know you have a ton of respect for in terms of coaches, Mark Henry, had mentioned recently that one of the top featherweights in the world was around Zabit. What's going on with Zabit? I know there's talk about him. He wasn't going to fight. He's going to fight. What's going on with Zabit? Because I know Mark did a post recently about something. I think he said something like Zabit's back or something. What's going on with Zabit?
Listen, Zabit very much got tired with this Yair thing. You know, 4 times he pulled out, and they offered Cater the first time, short notice, we took it. The second time they offered Cater again. I was like, it making no sense. We already beat that guy, you know. But Zabit right now he's kind of burned out. He cut in weight 4 times, didn't get the fight, but he's kind of taking some time off, right? And when he's ready, I will talk with Sean Shelby, and we'll get him something. But at the end of the day, right now, as far as I know, he's just chilling, you know.
Also, another guy, I saw his Instagram post a couple days ago. And listen, there's some things that are bigger than the sport. A fighter's health is more important than a fight. Let me just ask you, how is Anthony Johnson doing? I know he posted on Instagram some of the things he's dealing with. He was sick. Obviously, he wasn't able to fight recently. How is Anthony doing?
Man, it breaks my heart because Anthony is one of the most loyalist nicest guys I ever met in this whole sport. And I wish I was a doctor. I wish I was in a hospital. I wish I can do so much more for him, you know. And every time this thing come to me, I feel very sad because he's a man of a monster. And he texted me the other day, he said, we're gonna fight for the championship. We're gonna be the champion, right? I have no doubt in my mind, Anthony will fight. He will get healthy, and we're gonna see him back in the cage. But right now, I don't really care about fighting. I care about his health. Um, I know my team working with his people, and I call him Bellator stepped up, to be honest, big time. I want to say thank you to Mike Hogan. I want to thank you for Scott Coker. They offer some health insurance stuff to him, and I appreciate that very, very much. But you know, he's fighting right now. He's fighting for his health, and he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. It's just sad to see such a young monster like him going through this, and it does show us life's too short. You know, like let all the hate out our heart, and let's be good to each other without all this hate. And I understand some of these people punch each other in the face, but it's nothing worth it. Just let this hate go, because in one split second you can lose everything.
Absolutely. Real quick, Ali, before I get you out of here, this weekend you mentioned, of course, we talk about light heavyweight. Another guy you've been working with for so many years has a big fight coming up this weekend, and that's Corey Anderson, one of the most underrated guys in the sport. He's been looking phenomenal right now, and he's got a big test ahead of him with Ryan Bader in this Grand Prix. I love this Grand Prix. I'm kind of sad we didn't get to see Anthony Johnson continue in the tournament, but Corey's got a great opportunity in front of him right now, and again, he's another guy signed with Bellator. I know he's very happy there, and he's looked great so far. And I think this is a tremendous matchup. Ryan Bader's no joke.
Listen, I always give example. One of the hardest working guys, Frankie Edgar, and I can tell you now, I think Corey Anderson's right there. You know, the respect that I have for Corey Anderson is impeccable. He's such a professional. He reminds me of like the Frankie, the Kamarus. This is the type of guys. He's such an anal guy, and he's very loyal, such an amazing guy, such a great father. Let me tell you something, man. Ryan Bader have his hand full because Corey is confident. You know, he's coming for this title. And I don't think nobody gonna stop Corey for winning this title. You know, I'm very confident. End of this year or beginning of next year, Corey Anderson will be the Bellator light heavyweight champion. You know, Bellator give him a great opportunity, and he's taking advantage of all of it. And you will see on this Saturday night, Corey is gonna put on something spectacular for the fan to see. Ryan Bader is a great competitor, but there's a level to this. And I think Corey's on a completely different level. And I think he will stop Ryan Bader inside 5 rounds. I truly believe it. And I respect Ryan Bader. I'm not trash talking anything like that. I'm just confident of the ability of Corey Anderson. And I think Bellator this weekend, such an amazing card. I think everybody should tune in and watch Corey Anderson get the job done.
Yeah, it's going to be great. You got so many fighters, Ali. I could go through your entire roster, keep you for another hour. I just want to say thank you for taking this time. You've got so many fighters we like talking about, and I really appreciate you taking this time to do it. You're always a busy guy. You got a ton of fighters coming up in the near future, and even more coming up in November, December. So many big fights. So thank you so much for taking the time for me today. I really do appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody back in action. So many big fights. And let's stay in touch. Let's do this again real soon, okay?
My pleasure, brother. Thank you.